Hello, this is a Grotrian Steinweg 192 centimeters long grand piano made in about 1988, and just come into our storage area just to see what sort of work might need doing on it. Now it's been stored apparently for about 25 years, and as we'll see in a minute, it's got quite a few very serious problems. Now, the key tops are acrylic, they're not ivory. Sometimes you get that, probably not in that era, probably about 1980, but Grotrian normally are acrylic, and the casework is generally not terribly bad, but there's veneer missing off the pedals. It's very dirty, but as we go around the side we can see scrape marks on this side of the piano from presumably moving without a shoe. If you can see them on the video, it's probably not that clear, but there are some scrape marks here, and the top of the piano, again, it's very dirty. Not too damaged. The pedals are the only part that's really damaged, and I think there's some cracking veneer here too. Immediately you can tell that it's probably got damp, I think, because the veneer's actually pulled off here, and you can see where it's missing on the pedal. But there's worse to come, unfortunately. Now a look inside the piano confirms that it's got extremely damp, and lots of the treble strings are broken here. As you can see, the tuning pins are rusty too, and the strings are just breaking. You can see the rust has fallen down onto the hammers too. Well, I don't suppose it's damaged them too much. I'm trying to be positive, but really the piano has to be restrung. I'm pretty sure there's strings with rust here. They might not break if you pitch raise. It is at A415, so it's quite flat. I think we probably would break some. Normally if you lubricate here, any rust bond is defeated, and you can take the string down and back up and it will pitch raise, but in this case it's very unusual. The bass strings have got a wonderful tone, as you'd expect from Grotrian. That's not regulated properly, that's why that's not working. I can't really take the action out because too many of the hammers are, especially the top end, they're stuck too high up, and I've pushed them down, but even so it's going to be very difficult to get the action out without breaking. I think probably can, but haven't allowed myself with enough time to do that. I didn't expect it. You can see the rust on the bridge pins there. The soundboard remarkably unscathed, I think. And if you play the middle ones, if we can play the middle notes here, that one works, the one next to it doesn't work. It could be the leads have expanded over a 25-year period. If it's been stored in a damp place, all sorts of things can happen. But the underlying tone, I think, is quite good. I don't know if your down bearing's lost or not on this, which is what that means. The tone will be thin if it has. I don't think so. I think the action is extremely sticky, and as I say, the leads are probably oxidized with the damp as well. So huge amount of work to do on the action as well. And the dampers, there's rust on the back of the dampers here, I noticed. So let's just move it round to here. So on the back there, and as I pulled one up, it was stuck to the string. So the glue's come off, and the glue's gone through, as you can see, and caused it to look red. So let's have a look at the inside of the piano a little bit. I didn't take the action out, partly because I can see that I've got to spend a lot of time getting the hammers down to make sure they don't break off. So sorry about that, but I couldn't really have time to do that. Now here we have some evidence of moth. We did have a case where there was a piano stored for 10 years and they said it was in perfect condition. And apparently this piano was in pretty much perfect condition when it was put into storage. So I've read. But we did find moth in that piano. It was a Blutner, and really completely riddled with moth, and we had to change all the felts, so that's very sad. And round here you can definitely see evidence of moth. I don't know if you can see it on the video, but the moths have eaten the felt and there's some residue left there. I haven't looked under the keys because the screws underneath the cheeks are so tight, the screwdriver I've got won't open them up, so they've obviously need a lot of persuasion to get open. So sorry I couldn't do that either, but it's pretty obvious that the action is very, very seized up. The piano generally got incredibly damp. I noticed a date on here just out of interest that said 1990. So it could be that it was sold in 1998, 442, so it was at pitch. 442 is ideal if it's a new piano, allow it to drop a little bit. But listening to the bass again, well, that one doesn't work, so there's a regulation problem. That C is beautiful. So a beautiful tone piano, Grotrians of this age, is one of our favourites as well. So I think that's more or less everything, and I have to decide whether there's any way of rescuing this without actual full restoration, what the action's like when we take it out. Slightly unknown, but it's certainly a lot of work. The strings, and it's a shame to lose the bass strings, whether we can pitch raise these without them breaking. But if we're going to restring the whole piano, I think normally you'd restring the bass as well, though it's very hard to replicate Grotrian's very rich bass there. I think we can certainly attempt it and hope to get the same quality of bass. I hope that's helpful. I can't really play this piano because there's too many sticky notes. Literally, as I play them, there's so many of them sticking down, as you can see. So, very sad for such a wonderful piano. It's a piano we try and source for sale, but obviously this needs a huge amount of restoration. Thank you very much for listening.